It is time once again, as we had already covered Blue Flare, it's time to cover the other general of the Cross Wars, as we are going to be diving into XROS-HEART, as we are going to be slowly getting into the remaining cards of BT 2.5, as we are going to be seeing many of the remaining BT 19 stuff, but also the BT 20 support. But as we get into it, I want you to tell you to look to the horizon, as XROS-HEART is about to make its way back on to the channel and what's the scoop. But before I get into it, as always, I have one little request of you, and that's to accelerate the subs. It always helps out that when you add yourself to the ad army, we are growing and we're moving fast, and I'd love to do it with your help. Additionally, as always, if this is your first What's the Scoop, or if you've been here before, you know that when you get a first look, so do I, as I get to look at these interesting cards, send that information to you, as you can sit back, relax, listen in the background, go ahead and watch, do whatever you like as you get the information, so you don't have to go anywhere else but here. But jumping straight into it, we have a lot of cards to look at, as, believe it or not, this has the most cards I have seen for a specific archetype in one set in a very long time. XROS-HEART has received a ton of support in one set, as we actually have a grand total of 15, not including the Tamer, that is the General and TAIKI. We have about 16 cards for the entire archetype released. This includes the brand new the returning Shoutmon forms in different abilities, evolutions to different cards in the archetype, and a brand new line of Digimon to support the strategy. So I'm going to jump into it so we don't have to be here all day. As we start off, as we have a brand new Pixmon here, where when attacking once per turn, by placing one Digimon card with the XROS-HEART or Blue Flare trait from your hand under any of your Tamers, you get to draw one card. This is a minor egg, but more importantly, it is a XROS-HEART traded egg. Moving into Shoutmon, who's returned, this time featuring his first time as a dual color. This is one of my favorite Digimon. It can Digivolve on top of any level 2 with the XROS-HEART trait for a cost of 0. And then on play, this Digimon may Digivolve into an Omni or Omega Shoutmon, I prefer that, under your Tamers without paying the cost. And then on deletion, you get to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, play one Tamer card with the XROS-HEART trait among them without paying the cost. Then you return the rest to the bottom of the deck, and then you get to save this card under. Very cool. Additionally, its inheritable is your turns. This Digimon with the XROS-HEART trait can gain Rush. This is a mini dragon, but also, and most importantly, is a XROS-HEART traded Digimon. Moving to the brand new Starmon here. Starmon is interesting because this one will, Starmons, it will be appearing as a dual color red-yellow, or yellow-red, sorry. Additionally, it can Digivolve on top of any level 2 with the XROS-HEART trait. For a cost of 0, it carries Decoy for specifically XROS-HEART. And then on deletion, this allows you to play one Shooting Starmon from under your Tamers without paying the cost. Then place one Starmons and one Pixmons from your trash as that Digimon's bottom Digi-Evolution cards. Very cool. Then for an inheritable, when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has the XROS-HEART trait, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Very, very cool. Moving into the brand new Sparrowmon, this one is a dual color black-purple. It can Digivolve on top of any level 2 with the Twilight or XROS-HEART trait for a cost of 0, and then when attacking, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Raptor Sparrowmon under your Tamers without paying the cost. This one carries on deletion of Save. So very cool. Moving into its inheritable, it carries your turn. This Digimon with the XROS-HEART trait gains Collision. Very interesting. Moving into the Shooting Starmon, which is the upgraded form of this, or the Digivolve form of Starmon, we have it being able to Digivolve on top of any level 3 with the XROS-HEART trait for a cost of 2. Its name is always treated as Starmons for a Digicross requirement, and then all turns once per turn, when any of your XROS-HEART trait Digimon are played, until the end of the opponent's turn, or your opponent's turn, give one of their Digimon security attack -1, and it gets 3000 DP. For its on deletion, you may place one Digimon card with the XROS-HEART or Blue Flare trait from your hand or trash under any of your Tamers. Very cool. And then for its inheritable, when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has the XROS-HEART trait, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Very cool. Moving into a brand new Dorulumon, we have a first yellow and green Dorulumon, which is cool. It can be on play. This Digimon may Digivolve into Jaeger Dorulumon under your tamers without paying the cost. It carries the on deletion effect, obviously, to save, and then during your turn for its inheritable, this Digimon with the cross-heart trait gains piercing. Very unique. Moving into the brand new Ballistamon, this one is a green and black. It has the ability to on play, and this Digimon may digivolve into Alter Ballistamon under your tamers without paying the cost. For its on deletion effect, it can save, and then for its inheritable opponent's turn, this Digimon with the cross-heart trait can gain blocker. Very good. Moving into the next one, we have Raptor Sparrowmon, as Raptor Sparrowmon can digivolve on top of any level 3 with the cross-heart trait for a cost of 2. It is always treated as Sparrowmon for a Digicross requirement. Additionally, on play, when digivolving, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you get to add 1 card with the cross-heart or blue flare trait among them to the hand, and then you trash the rest. Additionally, for its on deletion effect, you may place 1 Digimon card with the cross-heart or blue flare trait from your hand under or trash under any of your tamers, so that is very cool. Moving into its inheritable, your turn, this Digimon with the cross-heart trait also gains collision. Moving into the brand new Shoutmon Cross 4, yes, you've heard it, another Cross 4. If you don't remember or don't know, this card was a menace from its BT11 form, but we aren't worried, or BT10, we aren't worried about that one. This one is different, where all turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area, you may place up to 3 Digimon cards with the cross-heart trait from this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards under one of your tamers. It carries a Digicross requirement of -2 if you have Shoutmon, Ballistamon, Darulamon, and Starmons, and additionally, that is it. Yes, if you're reading this correctly, its only effect is that it can save 3 of its materials underneath it. It is not as powerful and terrifying as it was before, and has no inheritable as before. So pretty much just letting you know, don't be afraid. But also, if you have all 4 materials, you can play this for free. Moving into the next, we have a brand new Omni or Omega Shoutmon. This one is a dual color red-yellow, where it can digivolve on top of any level 4 with or cost for 4 of Shoutmon, or for a level 4 with the cross-heart trait, it can digivolve on top of it for a cost of 3. This card is also treated as Shoutmon for Digicross, which is really cool. And then on play, when digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -3000 DP for the turn. Then you get to delete one of their Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Really cool to get rid of floodgates. Then on deletion, you may place 1 Digimon card with the cross-heart or blue flare trait from your hand or trash under any of your tamers. And then for its inheritable, your turn, this Digimon with the cross-heart trait gains rush. So very cool. Moving into the next one, we have our next level 5, as we have Jaeger Darulamon. Jaeger Darulamon is in its first printing here, where it can digivolve on top of any level 4 with the cross-heart trait for a cost of 3. This card is also treated as Darulamon for any Digicross, and then on play and when digivolving, you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then until the end of their turn, one of their Digimon can't activate when digivolving effects or unsuspend. For its on deletion, you may place 1 Digimon card with the cross-heart or blue flare trait from your hand or trash under any of your tamers. Very cool. And then obviously for its inheritable, your turn, this Digimon with the cross-heart trait gains piercing. This is clear that all of the level 5 versions of their level 4 counterparts will carry the same inheritable. This is seen with Alter Ballistamon, which digivolves on top of any level 4 with the cross-heart trait for a cost of 3. It is also treated as Ballistamon on play, and when digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your Digimon can't be returned to hands or decks by your opponent's effects, and it gets 3000 DP. It carries the on deletion ability to, you may place 1 Digimon card with the cross-heart or blue flare trait from your hand or tamers under any of your tamers, which is really cool. And then finally, for its inheritable, it obviously gives blocker, just like a Ballistamon. Moving into Cross 5, the brand new Cross 5 we have, it has the ability that all turns, this Digimon would leave the battle area. You may place up to 3 Digimon cards with the cross-heart trait from this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards under one of your tamers. And for its on deletion, you may play 1 4-cost or lower Digimon card with the cross-heart trait from under any of your tamers without paying the cost. Very cool. Additionally, for its Digicrossing requirement, it has a reduce of -2 if you have either Shoutmon, Ballistamon, Darulamon, Starmons, or Sparrowmon. So yes, once again, you can Digicross this for free if you have all 5 requirements. That is cool. Moving into the brand new Shoutmon EX6. I really love the design for this because it just looks really cool. It's like a super Megazord. It carries many abilities. It is the technical boss Digimon of XROS-HEART from this set, where it carries Alliance, Reboot, Material Save 4, and On Play. For each color in this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, all of your opponent's Digimon get minus 1000 DP for the turn. Then you may play one shooting Starmon from under one of your tamers without paying the cost. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon. It has a Digimon or Digicross -2 requirement, where if you have Omni Shoutmon, Z Greymon, Ultra Ballistamon, Jaeger Darulomon, Raptor Sparrowmon, you can reduce all of that by 10, so you don't have to pay one cost for this card, but it is very solid. Moving into finally some of the last two cards of the archetype, we'll focus on the option first before we get into the general. We got Meteor Rock Soul. It has a main effect to activate one of the following effects. First, you may play one XROS-HEART trait Digimon card with 4000 DP or less from under your tamers without paying the cost. And then the other effect is by unsuspending one of your Shoutmon EX6 and one of your shooting Starmon, one of your Digimon may attack a player. Finally, for its security effect, you may play one XROS-HEART trait Digimon card with 4000 DP or less from under your tamers without paying the cost. I'll talk about Meteor Rock Soul later on. But finally, let's wrap things up by this list of cards, so there's a lot here, by talking about the general himself. As a brand new TAIKI KUDO is here. This one is our first memory setter, where it can set our memory to 3 if it is not. And additionally, during all turns when any of your XROS-HEART trait Digimon cards with Digicross requirements would be played, by suspending this tamer card from cards from underneath your tamers can be used as placed as the material. And finally, its only security effect is obviously to play this card without paying the cost. Whew, that was a mouthful. It was a lot because, yeah, this is 16 cards, guys. I was not surprised at first because I was like, oh, this is a lot. But no, 16 cards for one archetype in one set is nuts. This is a brand new retooling to the entire strategy, which is something really cool that was kind of done originally in BT10, but with BT 19 or 2.5 at this point, giving us an entire lineup. There are many things to unpack here. The first thing to unpack here is, once again, you can play XROS-HEART, and the key thing is you can choose to whether you want to play XROS-HEART from just a BT19 technically, or the BT20 or BT 2.5 at this point. You can play either specifically just this support, or you can mix it together. The cool aspect is you're able to do both. The main benefit is that the entire XROS-HEART archetype is now able to use a lot more tools, because now the new mechanics added into the deck is really unique. You can now play effectively 3 or 4 different forms of XROS-HEART, which is cool. And why I'm able to say that is because of the introduction of this line from BT19, you are able to really take advantage of a lot of the best inheritables from the varying XROS-HEART strategies. So one of the main things is that you have access to all these different level 3 abilities. You can really pick whichever lineup you want. If you want to have Rush all the time, you could play like 8 Shoutmons. It's really insane. And even now, Omni Shoutmon and all the level 5s are also treated as their counterparts for their Digicross requirements. It is really insane because now you can basically play a bunch of level 5s in addition to your level 4s and use them to Digicross into the different forms that required them. So something like Cross 4 from specifically the BT10, that one needed obviously Darulomon, the whole lineup, right? You can now play cards like Jaeger Darulomon, Ultra Ballistamon. You can play them all in the deck because they don't really conflict, because they can go on top of something like Cross 4. But the point is, you can play them, Digicross into them, use their effects to be loaded under tamers, and then use the effects of their different level 4 forms to kind of digivolve into their level 5 forms for different memory cost or no memory cost at this point. So it is very cool that you can do that. Additionally, you can add just more level, you can add Cross 4, this new one, back into the deck of the old version of XROS-HEART, and now you're able to effectively do what you did before. You know, the reason Cross 4 went basically emergency ban to 1 for us here in the TCG is it was really good, but it doesn't have the ability to unsuspend. So I think that's a cool thing that they were able to kind of nerf, is that they wanted to make sure that we don't able to aggress in the same manner. So this card is basically just a giant vanilla, but it's still fine because you can still use many of the different effects. I like that the Darulamons, the Ballistamons, they all got love because they're usable still, but they also have that ability to digivolve and be digivolved on top of by their counterparts. It's really cool. All of this is just kind of coming together to be its own deck. EX6 is an insane boss Digimon. Like, it really does hit hard. I don't really even need to talk about TAIKI from the set, because he literally fixes the issue the deck had, is that it was basically reliant on either the dual tamers or the triple tamers, which had Nene and Kiriha, but also it was reliant on making sure you had memory. Like, a lot of people would play something like the BT1 Taikamiya to give security attack +1. One of the biggest benefits is now you have a memory setter in the archetype. It is just really good. Another thing too is maybe a problem is it's really hard to figure out what tamers you want to play and the number, because you have so many to use now, because you have another set of TAIKI. So the deck was always tight with space because you have to play multiple copies of things. This is a bit interesting to decide how you want to develop it. Like, the thing is with EX6, you really want to play EX6 with the cards from BT19. You don't really want to not play the level 5s if you're going to run EX6, because it needs to gain access to the level 5 forms to really reduce that evolution, the Digicross effect. So if you want to play this for 1 cost or really close to, you really need the ability to do that. And that's kind of thing I'm seeing, is that you can't Digivolve with the new XROS-HEART forms. So you're really kind of locked into making sure you're able to go ahead and, you know, play them. So you have to be able to do that. So that's another reason why you have to really decide how you want to play the deck. The cool thing is, I think this boosts XROS-HEART back up. So XROS-HEART right now, actually, the deck people could still play. I think one of its biggest problems is that it had no way to really deal with floodgates, because floodgates that can stop you from reducing your cost. I actually did this against an opponent when I played at locals a long time ago. I remember he was playing XROS-HEART, but I had Solarmon out, so he couldn't reduce his play cost, so it made it really hard. However, thanks to the inclusion of some of the strategies in the archetype, you're able to kind of deal with these really low play cost Digimon. You're just kind of able to like deal with them quickly. You want to reduce their cost, obviously. And the key thing too I did want to mention is that because of the inclusion of more rush Shoutmons, you're still able to do what I call the rookie rush of Shoutmon, where it basically rushes you down by attacking and then playing. You know, if people are wondering, this is still something playable. Also, the new Omni Shoutmon is another level of removal, because it has -3 KDP for reducing and then deletes, so you can get like rid of like 2 floodgates. The point I'm trying to get across here is that this new archetype, or basically the new subtype of the XROS-HEART strategy, is very good. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it adds more layers to the deck that was already not there, and it does help out a lot. I do think that this deck is obviously going to land above Rogue. I think one of its advantages it has now is that it has a lot of ways to remove things. Its biggest weakness is that, unlike something like Blue Flare, because of how it's designed, the weakness in XROS-HEART has always been, I think, it's either too slow, which happens a lot, which before you could build really quickly because the archetype was really refined. Now with a lot of options, it's not that the deck is bad, it's just you're lacking the ability to have all your pieces all the time, so you really have to filter. As one of the issues this deck still has is it didn't really have a way to just, you know, it doesn't have another, like, it has a searchers, but it never had the searchers that benefit the strategy. You always basically would pass turn, and you'd have to rely on setting up tamers. You do fix that a bit, but you still don't have a ton of that ability to simply go ahead and set up. So the deck is still kind of in that weird gray space where someone obviously will do great with the deck. It's just, it's gonna need a pilot dedicated to pushing the deck to the next level in order to really get it going off the ground. That's one of the weaknesses of XROS-HEART, but you know, people can alleviate that by just playing the deck. But it is one of its weaknesses. It's just a bit slow, but its power output when it goes off is really good. I think that's what gives XROS-HEART its signature power, is that the deck was designed really weirdly, but it still has power. Like, think of it being like hit over the head with a hammer. People can miss with hammers all the time. We all do it when we hit nails. But this deck specifically, when it hits hard. But that's all I've got for you guys today. This has been a what's the scoop, so just giving you the information. There is much more to do, but this is the information for this archetype coming out of Special Booster 2.5. Let me know down below if you learned something you didn't know before, but also let me know what you think of the cards out of BT 19 that are still in 2.5 and what we need to do in terms of enjoying them. But also, this has been Brad from the Ad Army signing off, and for all of you out there, to sign on.